Good morning, y'all. Super sorry. Ugh. Coffee went down the wrong tube. Dangers of your morning brew. Oh. Right before I take a sip of coffee, it goes down the wrong chute. Like a roller coaster going down the wrong tube, dude. Woo! Well, good morning, everybody. Anybody? The world. Gotta get back on that horse. I fell off there, went down the wrong tube, hopping back on some more. Drinking the coffee, y'all. Woo! Hogwarts! Who are you all? Who are you? Of course I'm a Hufflepuff. Pfft. Dude, me and Harry Potter would be high-fiving. Psh, what's up, Potter? Oh. Which causes a whole set of things to happen. Okay, let me get my paints. I'm on the horns. I keep thinking I'm gonna go do extra stuff after, so I get done and I have all the paints still sitting there. Not a lot. I mean, that's why I do so little, because of these right here, because I've been doing videos and I end up plopping a little paint in, not even a lot, and I still get a big old schmodulator of paint. So I'm gonna be going in for the aging now. I am aging it. I like the colors now. Oh, they look so sweet. I am really happy with this turkey. Let me move my light. It's in a weird spot, so I'm not able to see good. Sorry, y'all. Put it back behind this way. There we go. That's better. I can even do this, I think. Oh, that really frames it. There's nothing in the background, folks. Let's see here. Aging, aging, aging. So when I am going to age a piece, which I have to do quite a bit, do a lot of stuff. I've done a lot of little movie project stuff. Plus I do a lot of things just for anyone on signage for their businesses or whatever. A lot of times people will want their stuff aged. And when you do your aging, usually brown, black. I recently got myself a whole set of rub and buffs, so at the very end I might use a little rub and buff. Rub and buff is a wax-based. It is awesome. It's also metallic. This is the stuff I got. It just came. It was what I had at the hardware store. I'm not gonna lie. I don't go out there and go for brands. I'm usually walking around the hardware store or a craft store. This is the brand I'm using right here. It's not bad. Excuse me. That one jumped out. That one wanted to go. I was like, Let me out. Okay. Now I'm gonna do my washes. I'm gonna add a little bit of white to it as well, and yellow, and orange. I could do some red too. And actually, here's what I'm gonna do before I even go. So I'm going down the wrong pipe already again. Look at that. Anytime you can start to see the universe sending you down the same thing every time, realize that is your day. Things are going down the wrong pipe right now for me. Let me get myself recorrect. Oh, Orange. So I'm 6'4". I mentioned it before. I always end up breaking things. I don't know if it's a size thing. I just have big clumsiness sometimes. It's not that it's clumsy. It's just I have to be very cautious. I'll end up squeezing things too hard. I don't know if everyone has that problem. I don't know if everything's that fragile, and I'm just being real about it, but I always end up breaking everything. I don't know if like everybody has the strength that I have, or I just have like a big goofy strength. I think big tall people get bigger and bigger goofy strength. Because a lot of this stuff is made for smaller hands or stuff. I don't know. I'm just thinking this has to be the way it is because I end up breaking things. So a lot of times I end up looking like I'm super dainty with things, overly dainty, and that's just the way I've had to learn how to not break everything. Hoy, George, and I end up just snapping it. Didn't mean to do that, George. That's my miscommunication with the world. What I think I'm gonna do here, I might dry brush my my middle color a little redder. I want it to be a little more red. Everywhere I look, I've been just fighting it more or less, saying, "Oh, I like my color. I do like my color." But every time I end up seeing things with a more red, I'm like, "Gosh, that's the color I want." I'm being a stubborn twerp. I should just get over. Check it out. Okay. Let me see what it looks like on here. Let's check it. I got too much on my brush. I know it's just going to glop down when really all I'm trying to do with this color is I'm trying to just put a thin layer of the top. And I want to carry all my darks that are in there, I want them to stay. Because if I go too much, which I can do quickly, then I lose the dry brush effect. So I put a little bit on, so I don't have full load. I took it out, and then I almost watered it down, and I still kind of flake off a little bit. There we go. There we go. I'm going to be getting new camera setups and everything soon, so this is going to be a lot easier to see. I'm just going to keep going forward with everything. Like, I know I don't get a lot of views as of now, which could change in the future, which is why I'm not trying to go out there and propagate an idea that this is some sort of form of failure, which it's not. I don't get anything now, but my future self could have more numbers to them. That being the case, here we go. So I'm just starting to go, and I set a little bit, and then I pull back. So I'm trying to make it look like this. Keep my bottom color. I'm going to go for a middle ground to start. It can always change. I've noticed. Like I say, your first thing that you ever do always takes the absolute longest, and almost a number form that you can't explain. So when I say it could be, so let's just say you start doing this industrial style. It could take you 3-4 hours to do one mask. This mask right here could be 3 or 4 hours, and it's taking me every morning. I've been doing a half hour, so I've got many episodes now with a half hour tagged onto it. And I'm not doing a full half hour. I'm doing a lot of jabbering like I'm doing right now. But at the same time, if you do your first mask, it could be 10 times longer than when you become an industrial artist on that exact same mask. So your mask will eventually your first one, you're trying to find it. You're still trying to find what that mask is. Because even though you know the outcome, you still have to do it. So with that, there is a whole nother set of numbers that everyone thinks, okay, it's good. Oh, it shouldn't take me more than a day or two. Oh, well, how many times have you done it? Meaning what? Oh, so this is your first time doing this? Yeah, that's going to be probably 3 times longer. Everyone has that. I do. I'm a classic. Classic on this. Ask anyone who knows me well. They'll say, yes, there's a timeline that I would set for myself, especially as an artist, where I know how long it's going to take for me to do something. Like if I was going to have it done, it would take me this long. But if you're going to do something for a customer or a client, you have to always remember you're going to be doing all this stuff in between where you're going to have to make sure that you talk to them, find out if this is what they're looking for in a product. So there may be revisions. So when something really would take 2, 3, 4, 8 hours, it's really going to end up being 2, 3, 4 days. It just happens. So I'm just adding red onto this right here, and it is adding a real fun, bringing out the warmth of it. It had a cold look, like cold, dead look. This is bringing some warmth into it, and I might even go as far up to having a light orange kick over the top of it. And even with that, I might have a light orange kick, even a little bit over my orangish yellow kick, right over my white line. That might be good. That might look good. Because like I said, once you figure this thing out, so you bring it out of your brain, you get it here. Because even though you may have something to look at, you're doing an actual fan art image of something. So you literally have something to look at. Don't stop as an artist until you're done. Like look at it and say, I'm trying to achieve this look. Don't stop. That's the look you're going for. So with that is where it takes the time. And once you get it, like once I get this done, figured out, I'll realize, okay, I can achieve this same, what I'm doing right now, in, let me see, I would do 1, 2, 3 washes. Heavy coat of one, heavy coat of another, mid to heavy coat, so that way I can see some things going through, and then I'd start my layering of washes. So that's what it would be instead of this, where I'm almost going back and forth and moving it around and changing the color. That's the way it is right now because I'm finding the color. Once I get the colors, I can make myself, like I said before, I go out and I make myself good, pint. I try to make myself these big old dudes right here. This is 473 milliliters, 16 fluid ounces. I'll make myself something about this size of the color. So I'll get myself all of my primary main colors. So I'll have to go out and I'll buy a horde of the colors it takes to make the colors I need. And then I go through and I do my personal mixes and I do my things that way. That's how I do it. And that's how I recommend anyone doing it. So, if you want to have an light industry for yourself, you want to be able to achieve, make sure you can get it onto, let's say, Etsy, something of that nature, your website, just make sure you have it in your web store, get it out to Etsy, get it out to other places so you can make sure your products are moving outward. And for that, to have any fluid consistency, you have to make sure you have all your colors lined up. It's a lot of little scheduling things, but it's fun. I like it. I'm an artist, so I've always had my problems with a few things because my time tends to get very, it disappears. I don't know where it went. All of a sudden, 4, 6, 8 hours has gone by, and I'm like, oh man, I gotta go do life still. So I'm an artist who loves art, and I'm not saying there's others who aren't, but my level is one where I just am going to be doing this anyways, because no matter what, this is what I do to free time. If you were to see me like yesterday, my son had his basketball games. It was a lot of fun, and I had, I brought my pad with me because the whole time I can't just sit. It's the thing of my family. My mom used to always. She's still to this day. We always joke about my mom turning off like a light switch, so she'll do something till the very end, and then like a light switch, turn off all of her stuff, and wake up and go back. And my mom just just starts going. It's funny. But at the same time, that's what my background in life is. So when I watch TV or do anything, it's just something in the background for me to be achieving this. So I have a weird, I don't recommend it for everybody, but I have a weird ability to, for the most part, be able to achieve pretty decent heavy loads for, I maximize my space, maximize my areas. Like at my house here, my house is set up to be art, just cranking. That's all I ever do. That's all I ever do. I got my computer stuff. I got my physical stuff because I do a lot of physical artwork. I do a lot of everything because I don't like to just. I always think of myself as having like moods, but it's all of a sudden I'm done with something and I end up just shifting. And lately I have found that cosplay is my favorite avenue because it does allow me to open up all of my art doors. And when I do that, I find myself to be artistically the happiest. And the reason I say cosplay is because like this right here, it holds all of my art. It's a physical piece. So when I'm done, I know I'm holding my art. And I'm doing my art portion of it. And since I've done the technical side already, but I will do it for everybody else in the future, doing my silicone molds and whatnot, so that I can reproduce this as many times as I want. So like I said, the technical side of this is done. From there, I'm going to be able to take this, reproduce it over and over and over again, get it to this level right here, and at a faster pace, which to me suits my. I do have a business sense about me. I like having businesses. I always have. So like I said, cosplay is one that allows for me to open and check all those doors. Usually cosplayers want neat stuff because it's hard to do. It's hard to have a life, go to work every day, come home, be you, and know that you cost money. So that thing that you have to go do has to be done more. And then you have this weird balance that you have to get yourself to where it's like, how much work do I have to do to be able to obtain as much of my thing that I like? And if you can do this to where you can do what I'm doing right now for a living, which I usually am able to do for the most part. Sometimes I have to break down and go back into the universe again and do the other things that I do, which I have many things. I do handyman, I do construction, I do other stuff. Been an electrician for years, did electronics in the military, so I did electronics in the Navy. I still do electronics now. Some of my favorite stuff is when I hack my stuff apart. I'll have go to my website, which I have sitting right here on the corner, and I'm going to be setting up a whole technical section of all the stuff that I have done and are going to be doing. So that way, what I'm going to be doing is setting up a nice schedule for everybody to look through and see if they want to see something specific, which I don't mind that. I mean, I wish I had a crowd showing up daily, of course. Who doesn't want that? But that's just fluff. I can care less. I'm doing this for posterity. And for also being able to say, come check out my artwork. I've been putting stuff online. Plus, a unique form of a physical portfolio as well. Even though, in a lot of cases, I am only showcasing one thing right now. It is a quality piece, which is merch that will be out soon. This one here is going to be the first one, which, to be honest, I think number ones are fun. If anyone agrees with me or disagrees with me, cool. But I like number ones. Like this is fun for me. I would prefer to have a number one like this that someone's crazy enough I'm going to be giving away. I'm going to be designing a good reason for it. I'm setting up I'm setting it up right is what I'm doing. So I'm looking around. I'm always been the type of person that, like my pappy told me. Actually, my dad did say this to me, which is very smart. He always said, look to the successful ones. You don't got to be big if you don't like the policies of the biggest. But drop yourself down the success level to where you find yourself being able to feel good about the things that this level provides for everybody, and you can do it. So that's the level of success I've been setting myself at, and it's of course higher than I am right now. So that right there being said, I am always trying to achieve a level of proper success too, because really I have also noticed in this industry that there are so many people. And a lot of people are overseas, and it's a business for them. I'm pretty sure they're in big rooms full of people probably doing this stuff. Like going on sites that people use. A lot of people aren't. Some of these sites, like I go on a place where I do a lot of, I'm a freelance artist, so I always keep myself set up on like freelance style sites. This Google. Oh, that's my purple. Don't waste my purple. Gee, Christmas theme. Oh, that's my brown. I'm just creating a whole disaster over here right now. I squidged out. The white had a squidge ball. So, squidge ball. What do you do? Well, let's do this. I'm going to white the top and a little bit of yellow. I don't know why I'm going to try this. It's just... I swore I put some yellow down. I could have swore I put some yellow down, Ringo. So, we're going to be getting some sound coming in, but I'm waiting for my son to kick me a loop. My little 8-year-old. Dude jams came in. Just... So I have my setup with a little a little mini editing studio that has for sound, and I set it up for him, just kind of goofing, hop in the shower, let him goof. That's the way I like to do it. Get away. Let their brain have their moment for a second. So he's over there doing his thing, taking a shower, and then he comes in right after the shower. He comes in all excited. Kicked a mean loop. Just kicked. He dropped the silliest. My boy, and he was just, and you could tell he was like, and he's like, listen to this part, Dad, and he was getting into the beat and stuff. And I'm like, dude, that's what I'm talking about, man. That's what I'm talking about. That is awesome. So my boy was cold kicking it live. Cold kicking it live. Four and 3 and 2 and 1. Kick it. And I'm on the mic. This sucker's run. That's gonna be my boy. I'm not kidding you. I need to get him some. It's funny because what music do you do? He wants to do music because his family, me, my mom is. Every night I still think she goes to bed playing piano. She does it like my mom got like a list of cool stuff. I've always loved it. Mom's always had a list that I've always been very impressed with. So she does all of her day, wraps up the house too. She just can't stop. And it's not for any weird reason too. It's just for the fact that she is that person. She is that little Roomba robot that is just, I can't stop until I've re-looked at everything again and made sure it's set and I can go to bed. So that is where I get most of my weird drive, which is the drive that is like the everlasting do not stop pit bull mentality my mom's always had of just getting it done. Don't put it off. You're the one who can do it. Do it. Well, my mom's always felt that way. Always done that. Always been very inspiring. Always enjoyed that about my mama. Oh, I like that. See, so I'm just running that. Oh, that looks so sweet. So it's almost like frosting it. That's the look that it has right now. So what I do is I Mod Podge up all my stuff after. I use it as like a light sculpting tool, to be honest. So I'll add a little bit of stuff into it to give it like a little bit of aggregate something in there. You can use sand down to just any kind of thickener you can almost add into your Mod Podge as long as it's a water-based thickener, something that can actually kind of thicken. Like, you know what you can use that I like is you can use baking soda in with a lot of stuff. As long, you know, it's not going to activate anything, you know, because there are some things that baking soda will chemically react with, rarely in a way that is destructive or will suddenly turn into a corrosive thing or anything. It's usually along the lines of it will like foam or fizzle or clean. Usually, it's usually a cleaning aspect that will come out of it more than anything. But you can use baking soda like in with your Mod Podge. That's what I did. Just a little bit, not a lot, and it suddenly stiffens it. You'll just see it thicken up and stiffen, and then you can just plaster it. So you can go get art sand. Art sand's a clean sand. And when I say clean sand, I mean it's meant for being able to be used with artistic paints and whatnot. Because I use a lot of gesso thickeners. They're almost like a Mod Podge in themselves. It's kind of what they are. And it's just a thickening agent you can add to some of your. So like if you want to have some texture to your art, let's say you're working with acrylic, but you want it to have that oil paint look, you got to add some of your texturing agents, usually gel based a lot of the time, and you can just mix it in with your color, mix it in, and it'll suddenly stiffen and thicken up your paint. A lot of times you will get a little bit of a translucent look or an opaque look with it. But you can achieve a lot of these things by just going around your house, making sure products do work. Don't mix things, people. Be careful. Always, warning, be careful if you're ever mixing anything. If you're mixing wrong agents, you may start releasing a noxious fume that you just can't see. And all of a sudden, you wake up coughing, hacking, and wheezing, and you're like, I don't know why all of a sudden I grew a third arm. And it's because, yeah, you've been mixing some stuff together you shouldn't be mixing. Like someone was telling me they used to use a very specific blend of items for a cleaning agent that was kind of supposed to be like a more naturalistic way. But the way they were doing it in their mind, I guess, saw all these things together as being all good and mixed them all together. And I think concocted the conclusion in their mind that all these things were supposed to be together. And then you find out that when you add all three of them together, it actually starts to create a noxious fume. Something but combines and actually was creating a noxious fume. And it was like literally, don't do this is something you can find online. So it's kind of like, yeah, and you almost want to say you do know. And once again, I actually did mention, I'm like, yeah, I actually looked that up. You probably shouldn't be doing that. And they looked at me like, huh? That's what my grandma did. That's what my mom did. And it's kind of like, yeah, okay, it's fine. Just because it's traditional doesn't make it right. Like, people do these traditional things that, like a home remedy, a poultice, that may end up making you sicker because of your, like, our microbiomes we're just starting to find out are just like it's almost like saying upon you is a universe, full universe. Has no clue you're the carrier of its universe because you don't really. It's so small because the universe is so big. So for a universe to be big and to have little microbiomes within that universe, you're so big you don't know what you are. So with that, our microbiome to us is a mystery, unfortunately, because I also believe that a lot of us doing, let's say, even old remedies may conclude in horrific things because our microbiome has changed as a society worldwide. Some that haven't gone out into our world as much. When I say our world, I mean the society that has been designed by humans as an entirety, not just one or two or three or one group versus other groups. It's not even that. Because really it's not even that. It's more along the lines of, I'm going to say it's probably more along the lines of with the internet, TV shows, planes flying over, boats cruising over. I've heard stories like Japan used to get Western people showing up and it'd be like, what the heck? Looking around like, you see what I'm seeing over here? That dude just showing up on our doorstep right here. What the heck is that? But those stories have been worldwide. Native people to this land here, America, saw just whatever they saw, which was, I think, onslaughts of different versions of not just one. It could have been Vikings, could have been a whole bunch of stuff. Who knows? I don't even know who the first... Could have been anything that came through this area from... I've heard all different stories. I'm very curious. What did curiosity do to the cat? So be careful with curiosity. Be careful with curiosity. Everyone can be like, ha ha, no, like seriously, be careful with curiosity. It did do just that kitty cat. Kiki. Kiki. Trying to think what kind of animal would I want to get if I get myself an animal. Me and my boy are talking. Dogs are fun. I love dogs, but I also love cats. Love them. Cats do provide stuff like up here in the mountains. Having a little mouser running around is good. I might do it for that. But I love dogs because dogs are no joke about it, like 1,000 times more loving. And I'm sorry for anyone who hears this and is like, oh, I love my cat loves me. Of course. But I don't like when people play the me-only game in the universe. On general, cats tend to be... They just tend to be. You can cite whatever gibberish you want. I know, I've seen. And that's what most people, I think, go on, is the fact that, well, I've seen this happen over and over and over again. But then the offshoot people will show up in a weird grove to say, oh, I disagree. And it's kind of like, yeah, you're still an offshoot. And we all know it, too. We all know it. We all know you're an offshoot. We all know you're the smallest group with the biggest lips, flapping with fury about something that you don't really know. You think you do because I know cats. Cats know me. I know cats better than anybody. I am the cattiest cat yeah, but okay, cool. But most people aren't. So if most people aren't the cattiest cat and cat people, you are the fringe, and you may say you know cats better, but you're kind of probably just a cat weirdo. And good for you. Be the weirdo you want to be. I'm a this weirdo. I do weird stuff like this. It's funny because my story is a funny one when it comes to like people coming over and seeing what they see in my house. Creativity is one where if you get into the right area with it, your art can get weird, and people would show up and be like, "Why is your art so weird?" And you're like, "I don't know, people want weird stuff, and I do it." That's cool. That's who I am. I don't have myself set in butterflies and unicorns. I have myself set from indigo to violet on one side of the spectrum all the way over. I pull the full Roy G. Biv. And with that, I have to say that my brain shifts when I have to start doing stuff. I'm getting better at shifting back from gibberish to so that way. If anyone knows me, knows I'll start talking, and then they'll go, "What were you saying again?" And I'll be like, "I know I went to this, and I started trailing off. Help me out there a little bit," and they'll start me back on the track. But I would have to back up my video, and I ain't gonna do that. So sometimes I may lose track. I know I'm just gibbering and ranting, but my rants are so true. And once again, my rant right now will change gears drastically again since it's coming up. I'm going to start the hashtag maybe test the president. That's my new thing. That's, I can care less who it is. I really can. I just want to know what they really think. I'm so tired of I think everyone's tired of it. And I'm going to say it too. I'm going to speak for everybody here. I think everyone's tired of really not knowing. And hopefully some people out there haven't been jaded as much as most people. So that would have to be the millennials, the younger millennials too, because they haven't been around to see it happen over and over and over again to realize, oh, this is just the way it always ends up. To realize, once you realize that, then you can change things. The millennials go at it with just change, not realizing how the system works first to realize how a change will happen. Changes never should happen fast, ever. Ever. A change should never happen fast because we are a society, and a society is like a big cruise ship. Imagine putting everyone into something that has to travel together. And then suddenly say, but we need to be going that way, behind us. How fast would you have to turn that boat without disturbing anybody? That's the question. Like, truthfully. How do you change directions without making everybody miserable? When I mean miserable, think about it that way, and the fact that when a cruise ship turns, it will throw all of its weight one way. If you're going to turn around instantly and go backward, all the weight is going to suddenly slam everything all over. Everyone goes sliding all around the cruise ship. How fast do you turn that ship, if it needs to go the other way, without disturbing anyone? And that is what I'm going to end this video on today. I'm going to end it on the thought, how fast does a society need to move in order to not disturb everyone on it who's enjoying this journey? That's how a society needs to be looking at it. And with it, I'm going to tell you, it's test the president. Put a big fat test, put it down so we can watch it, make sure they can't stand up without us knowing every single thing that they're doing, during the course of this test. It should be the Presidential Olympics that starts off with Presidential Runner-Up Olympics, where it starts off with the presidents going in a direction that starts them in an area where they're like, hey, when you go in there, you can't walk out. You walk out, you're out of the race. There's no, I gotta go to the bathroom at all. Go to the bathroom, put a diaper on, and get in there. That's it. Or maybe have a bathroom in there that is like guarded, but it's like a porta potty. It's sitting in a presidential porta potty, almost like a nice clean. But you know where they're going, what they're doing, at the whole time. So that way, anyone who goes in, then they sit down and they start taking tests. They go through and they do very specific individual settings of things, and it runs a gambit. And then from there, we can start walking them out into the world of everybody else. But we haven't tested to find out if these people know anything. They test us for everything. When I say us, I mean the people beyond that weird little stratospheric bubble where you're outside of yourself. I'm running long on this one today, y'all. But I really am saying, hashtag test our president. Stay true, stay real, stay Hogwarts, y'all. Let's end this up here like I like to end it lately. I got myself a new end screen. Skiddy-dee-dee-doo, skip-a-doo-ga-doo, a-doo-doo-ba-doo. The day is to go, I am now over. Watch me tomorrow. Do-do-boom-ba-skoo, skibba-digga-dee-doo. I like everybody, everyone likes you. You are the one I like to know today. I will spend the day in another way. Oop-a-doo-skidoo, hum-ba-doo-doo-doo. I am over now, this is what it is. I am going to add more to this now. I am done right now. Boo.